Today, you study about control system. Now, the topics left in the measurement are measurement of flow, measurement of force. Okay. So today I want to start the measurement of flow with the help of a PDF note. So let me share first. So we are here to discuss about the measurement of flow. As you studied in fluid mechanics, the flow of a fluid in a pipe, in a steady state condition, in dynamic condition. Okay. So in the same way, measurement is also required according to the situation, and it's a big application in the industry, chemical industry, most of them, water treatment plant, where are where a gas is flowing because fluid is liquid as well as gases both. So without the measurement, the quantity at the certain points, it is difficult to get the target. So how it deal? It start with the introduction. The accurate measurement of flow rate of liquid and gases is an essential requirement for each for maintaining the quality of industrial processes. Okay. So in fact, most of the industrial control loops control the flow rate of incoming liquids or gases in order to achieve the control objective. As a result, accurate measurement of flow rate is very important. So the common type of flow meters, means we are talking about the measurement, means the instrument which measure the flow. That depends upon their working principle and industrial application point of view. Obstruction type, in which differential pressure or variable area. Inferential type, in turbine type, electromagnetic type, positive displacement type, integrating, fluid dynamic based, means vortex shading, anemometer, ultrasonic, mass flow meter. These are the another more advanced instruments for measuring of the flow. But here we have to more focus on the basic instruments which we use in the industry. So main are the obstruction type flow meter. So obstruction or head type flow meters are of two types: differential pressure type and variable area type. First one is orifice meter, and second is venturi meter, third is pitot tube, fall under the first category, means differential pressure type, while rotameter is of the second category, means variable area type. So in all the cases, an obstruction is created in the flow passage. As the pressure drop across the obstruction is related with the flow rate. So the basic principle behind this is, we know the type of fluid is two type of main fluid is viscous and non-viscous, turbulent and laminar flow. So आप टर्बुलेंट और लेमिनार नहीं जानते हैं, आप विस्कस और नॉन विस्कस जानते हैं क्योंकि आपके फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स में इतना पढ़ाया गया है। तो आप विस्कस नॉन विस्कस जानते हैं, टर्बुलेंट फ्लो एंड लेमिनार फ्लो नहीं जानते हैं। तो आपको मैं बता देता हूं कि एक फ्लो, अगर फ्लो के लेयर आप एक दूसरे से स्मूथ हैं, फ्लो इज स्मूथ and no momentum is transferring to the adjacent layer and Reynolds number is less than 2000. So flow can be said as a laminar flow. But if if opposite of this phenomena happen and Reynolds number is greater than 2000, the flow can be said as a turbulent flow. Our fluid particles are moving in zigzag direction, no a particular fixed direction. So it's a turbulent flow. So in the present case, we will assume that the flow is turbulent. That is the normal case for practical situation. We consider the fluid flow through a closed channel of variable cross section as shown in figure 1. This is the figure. A flow in a variable channel at section 1, pressure P1, velocity V1 and datum head from any reference is Z1. Similarly, at section 2, pressure is P2, velocity V2 and datum head is Z2. So we can apply the Bernoulli equation shown in figure 1. According to this, the channel is of varying cross section and we consider two cross section of the channel 1 and 2. Okay, so Bernoulli's equation at section 1 and 2, P1 upon rho g means gamma plus V1 square upon 2g plus Z1 is equal to P2 upon rho g is equal to gamma plus V2 square upon 2g plus Z2, where gamma is the specific weight of the fluid. If Z1 is equal to Z2, then P1 by gamma plus V1 square by 2g is equal to P2 by gamma plus V2 square by 2g. If the fluid is incompressible, means rho1 is equal to rho2, as I told you in continuity equation, A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Therefore, if you take common from the equation V2 square from equation 2, if you segregate V2 square minus V1 square one side, so you will get V2 square minus V1 square is equal to 2g by gamma P1 minus P2. Okay, take V2 common, it will become 1 minus V1 by V2 का whole square. So V1 by V2 का whole square from this equation will become A2 by A1 whole square, means A2 square upon A1 square is equal to 2g by gamma P1 minus P2. Therefore, V2 can be written as 1 upon under root 1 minus A2 square minus A1 square into under root 2g by gamma P1 minus P2. We can write further it d2 by d1 as a beta. If we take d2 by d1 as a beta, so it will become 1 minus beta ki power 4 under root 2g by gamma P1 minus P2. Considering circular cross section, define beta as a d2 by d1. So a2 by a1 naturally become beta square and a2 square upon a1 square will become beta ki power 4. Therefore, the volumetric flow rate through the channel can be expressed as how much volumetric flow rate Q is equal to A2 V2. How much volume is leaving through the section 2? we can get from the continuity equation V2A2. So we can write the expression of V2 is known, multiplied with the A2, it will become A2 upon under root 1 minus beta की power 4 under root 2g upon gamma P1 minus P2. So from the above expression, we can infer that there is an obstruction in the flow path that causes the variation of the cross-sectional area inside the closed flow channel. There would be difference in static pressure at 2 points, and by measuring the pressure difference, one can obtain how flow rate using equation 3. However, this expression is valid for incompressible fluids. Okay. And the relationship between the volumetric flow rate and pressure difference is non-linear. So a special signal conditioning circuit called a square routing circuit is to be used for getting a linear relationship. This is of advancement of this further instrument or calculation. So first instrument is orifice meter. Orifice meter, you can see here, this is the obstruction in the flow. There, from left side, a fluid is coming, and fluid have to cross this obstruction. So flow profile will be like this. Flow profile. Further, leaving from the obstruction, fluid will have this profile, and somewhere will be the least cross-sectional area. It is called vena contracta. Vena contracta. Okay. So vena contracta have the least diameter or least cross-sectional area of the flow, where pressure P2 each have pressure P2 each need to calculate, or pressure P2 is determined, and pressure P1 at the inlet of the pipe where diameter is D1, and D2 is the diameter of the orifice plate. So depending on the type of obstruction, we can have, here you can see the another figure, orifice plate. orifice plate का front view देख सकते हैं आप. This is small hole. This is the small hole path. अगर आप इसको वर्टिकल यूज करेंगे तो तरीके से होगा, ये पाइप के साथ पैरेलली कनेक्ट हो जाएगा उसके एक्सिस के लॉन्ग. So depending upon the type of obstruction, we can have different types of flow meters. Most common among them is the orifice type flow meter, where an orifice plate is placed on the pipeline as shown in figure. If D1 and D2 are the diameters of the pipeline and at the orifice opening, then the flow rate can be obtained using equation third by measuring the pressure difference P1 and P2. अब यहाँ पर हमें प्रेशर मेजर करना पड़ रहा है, यानी एक फ्लो को मेजर करने के लिए हमें प्रेशर भी मेजर करना पड़ रहा है. तो प्रेशर मेजर करने के लिए हमारे पास मैनोमीटर था, बॉर्ड एंड ट्यूब था, प्रेशर मेजरिंग डिवाइसेस थी. तो प्रेशर डिफरेंस तो हम मेजर कर ही लेंगे. तो प्रेशर डिफरेंस हम मेजर जब कर लेंगे तो हम फ्लो भी मेजर कर लेंगे. ठीक है. तो इसमें इक्वेशन 3 जो डिराइव्ड होकर के आया था, the flow expression obtained from equation 3 actually not accurate expression in actual case, and some correction factor named as discharge coefficient or coefficient of discharge has to be incorporated in 3. So CD, when we multiply the equation 3 by CD, means the coefficient volume flow rate is obtained. So it becomes CD A2 upon 1 minus beta to the power 4 under root 2G upon gamma P1 minus P2. So this is equation 4. So CD is defined, how CD is defined? CD is defined as the ratio of the actual flow and ideal flow and is always less than 1. There are in fact two main reasons due to which the actual flow rate is less than the ideal one. So the first is that the assumption of the frictionless flow is not always valid. So there is always some friction present in the flow between the pipe and the fluid. So fluid is not ideal. It is actual flow is not ideal. It is actual. The amount of friction depends upon the Reynolds number. The more important point is that the minimum flow area is not the orifice area A2 but is somewhat less and it occurs at a distance from a orifice plate known as the vena contracta and we are taking a pressure tapping around that point in order to obtain the maximum pressure drop. As a result, the correction factor CD less than 1 has to be incorporated. In fact, CD depends on beta, let beta as well as on RD. RD yani Reynolds number. Now another is Venturi meter and the flow nozzle. So orifice plate, Venturi meter and flow nozzle. The major advantages of orifice plate are that it is low cost device, simple in construction and easy to install in the pipeline as shown in the figure 3. The orifice plate is a circular plate with a hole in the center. The pressure tapping are normally taken distances d and 0.5 d upstream and downstream the orifice respectively. D is the internal diameter of the pipe. But there are many more types of pressure tapping. Those are in use. Here permanent pressure drop at the orifice plate. The major disadvantage of using orifice plate is that the permanent pressure drop that is normally experienced in the orifice plate as shown in figure. The pressure drops significantly after the orifice and can be recovered only partially. The magnitude of the permanent pressure drop is around 40%, which is sometimes objectionable. It requires more pressure to pump the liquid. This problem can be overcome by improving the design of the restrictions. Venturi meters and flow nozzles are two such devices. So this is the figure of the Venturi meter. Venturi meter have the area of gradually decreasing in the starting, then least area somewhere in between, then gradually area is increasing. So left side or one left side pipe is connected and right hand side another pipe is connected and flow takes place from left to right through the Venturi meter. So the construction of Venturi meter is shown here. It is so designed that the change in the flow path is gradual. As a result, there is no permanent pressure drop in the flow path. The discharge coefficient CD varies between 0.95 and 0.98. The construction also provides high mechanical strength for the meter. However, the major disadvantage is the high cost of the meter. Flow nozzle is a compromise between orifice plate and venturi meter. Orifice plate and venturi meter. The typical construction is shown here. Next figure is flow nozzle. So how why it is said it is the compromise? Because if we see the venturi meter from one left end to the least area, least cross sectional area, it looks like the nozzle. Okay, from this section to this section, it looked like nozzle. So it's the nozzle is compromised between orifice plate and venturi meter. Fluid is coming from one side, this left side, and leaving to the right side with the high velocity. Suppose cross sectional area is least at this point, so velocity will be the high. So, in general, few guidelines are to be followed for the installation of obstruction type flow meter. Most important among them is no other obstruction or bending of the pipeline is not allowed near the meter. Though this type of flow meters are most popular in industries. So their accuracy is low for low flow rates. As a result, they are not recommended for flow measurements. So these orifice plate, venturi meter, and nozzles are suitable for high flow rates. They are not suitable for low flow rates. So for low flow rates, there are other devices. Flow measurement of compressible fluid. Compressible fluid can also be measured with the parametric changes in the equation derived, where rho 1 is not equal to rho 2. In the equation of continuity, we assume that rho 1 A1 V1 is equal to rho 2 A2 V2. We assume that rho 1 is equal to rho 2, so it become A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Okay, so the equation 3 will be modified when you put A2 by A1. A2 by A1 is equal to A1 rho 1 V1 upon rho 2 V2, like that. So rho term will be introduced in the equation. Density term will be introduced in the equation. Now let us talk about the pitot tube. Pitot tube is widely used for velocity measurement in aircrafts. Velocity measurements in aircraft. Its basic principle can be understood from equation from figure 6a. From figure 6a. This is the figure 6a and this is figure 6b. So what say figure 6a? Suppose any blunt object is placed in the path of a flowing fluid, then what happens? The velocity near to the object becomes zero. Okay. So at that point, you can apply Bernoulli equation, somewhere 1, somewhere 2. So at the 2 section, velocity becomes zero. And velocity profile will be like that. Just fluid layers are passing over the layers from the blunt object. Here, the pipe, like this bent structure, is called pitot tube. The same here. Here in figure 6b, the construction and flow is coming and velocity suddenly becomes zero. So if a blunt object is placed in the flow channel, the velocity of fluid at the point just before it will be zero. Then considering the fluid to be incompressible, from equation 2 we have Z1 was equal to Z2. So P1 upon gamma plus V1 square upon 2G is equal to P2 upon gamma plus V2 square upon 2G. Now V2 is equal to 0. So V1 square upon 2G is equal to P1 minus P2 upon gamma, or V1 is equal to under root 2G upon gamma P1 minus P2. However, as mentioned earlier, corrections are to be incorporated for compressible fluids. The typical construction for a petard tube, as shown in figure, if you have measured the velocity, the equation of velocity V1, if you know the cross-sectional area A1, you can multiply with the A1 V1. So discharge can be measured. Now another device is the rotameter. You can see this figure of the rotameter. Basic construction of a rotameter. This is variable, or you can say tapered pipe from bottom to top, tapered variable area, and the orifice area. Here is a float placed in the flow path of the fluid, which ups and downs due to the force exerted by the fluid on the float. So the orifice meter, venturi meter, and the flow nozzle work on the principle of constant area variable pressure drop. Here the area of obstruction is constant and pressure drop changes with flow rate. On the other hand, rotameter works as a constant pressure drop variable area meter. Constant pressure drop variable area meter. It can be only be used in a vertical pipeline. Vertical pipeline. Its accuracy is also less 2% compared to other types of flow meter. But the major advantage of rotameter are is it simple in construction, ready to install, and flow rate can be directly seen on a calibrated scale without the help of any other device, that is differential pressure sensor, etc. Moreover, it is suitable for a wide range of variation of flow rates. The basic construction of a rotameter is shown here. It consists of a vertical pipe, as I said, tapered downward. The flow passes from bottom to top. There is a cylindrical type metallic float inside the tube. The fluid flows upward through the gap between the tube and the float. As the float moves up or down, there is a change in the gap, as a result changing the area of the orifice. जैसे ये ऊपर और नीचे जाता है तो ये एरिया जो साइड बाई साइड है वो चेंज हो रहा है, तो एरिया ऑफ द ऑरिफिस चेंज हो रहा है. So the float settles down at a position where the pressure drop across the orifice will create an upward thrust that will balance the downward force due to gravity. The position of the float is calibrated with the flow rate. Let us consider gamma 1 specific weight of the float, gamma 2 specific weight of the fluid, Vf volume of the float, Af area of the float, At area of the tube at equilibrium corresponding to this dotted line. Thus, from equation 4, for incompressible fluid, we have for the orifice CD A2 1 minus A2 by A1 whole square under root 2G by gamma 2 P1 minus P2. Gamma will become gamma 2 because it's for fluid. Now consider the free body diagram of the float as shown in figure. This is the float and weight W is downward and Fd downward thrust on the float, Fu upward thrust on the float, and W apparent weight of the float. So balance, if we balance the equation, we'll get W is equal to Fu. Here, if we see upward force, Fu, downward force, W plus Fd. So W is equal to Fd, Fu minus Fd. Or if we put weight volume into density, Vf into gamma 1 minus gamma 2 is equal to Fu is equal to pressure into area, or Fd similarly pressure P2 into area. Okay, therefore it becomes P1 minus P2 is equal to Vf upon Af gamma minus gamma 2. Substituting the above expression in equation 7, we obtain Q is equal to CD At minus Af 1 minus At minus Af upon At का whole square under root 2G upon gamma 2 Vf upon Af gamma 1 minus gamma 2. The term within the third bracket in the above expression is constant if At minus Af upon At is इसका whole square is less, very less than 1, then we have Q is equal to K At minus Af. So finally, if the tube is made in such a way that At varies linearly with the displacement, we have a linear relationship in the form Q is equal to K1 plus K2x. So that is the scale of the tube can be graduated linearly in terms of flow rate. Otherwise, the displacement of the float can be converted to electrical signal by using a LVDT, linear variable differential transformer, or similar type of displacement sensor. For large flow rate measurement, the rotameter is normally placed in a bypass line. The major source of error in rotameter is due to the variation of density of the fluid. Besides, the presence of viscous force may also provide an additional force to the float. Construction of the float. You need not to go much in construction of the float, etc. Further, electromagnetic flow meter for low flow quantity, turbine type flow meter, vortex type flow meter. Okay. So you have to pay focus only on the venturi meter, orifice meter, nozzle, pitot tube, and rotameter. These are very important and conventional and are used in the industry and big demand. Others you will read as per your syllabus. If proceed in the mechatronics, where transsensors, transducers. So others are associated with the sensors and transducers. So in this lesson, we have learned about various techniques of flow measurement in industrial processes. It has been seen that most of the flow measurement techniques are based on the principle of obstruction flow type flow meter. Orifice meters and Venturi meters are the most two popular types of transducers. ओके, अब आप टर्म देख लीजिए, ट्रांसड्यूसर्स भी यूज हो रहा है इसी के साथ. ऑरिफिस मीटर एंड वेंचुरी मीटर्स आर टू मोस्ट पॉपुलर टाइप्स ऑफ ट्रांसड्यूसर फॉर फ्लो measurement. However, they require additional differential pressure transducer for converting the differential pressure generated into appropriate electrical signals, and also square routing devices in order to obtain a linear output proportional to flow rate. Comparatively, electromagnetic flow meter provides a direct method for measurement of flow rate and gives a proportional voltage output with respect to flow. It also does not provide any obstruction in the flow path. As a result, there is no pressure drop. But this technique is suitable for conducting liquids only and cannot be used for gases. Moreover, often the polarization property of water creates problem and calls for an involved signal conditioning circuit. So this is the conclusion about the topic. If you say, I'll share this PDF for making the notes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.